Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Connor Knowles, and this is the Nerdic Gods podcast, episode 80, I believe. Pretty up
Mhm.
down the White House. Something. It is
Wow.
there. What is that?
I didn't
20,
know I signed up for that.
20 weeks away. You're the leader.
Oh, no.
You're leading the charge. You're throwing the first torch. Uh,
Wow, I
20,
didn't know that. I didn't
20
know this.
weeks. What do we got? It's not like a political message or anything. We're just doing it for fun. 20 weeks. When is that? October 23rd. We'll be burning down the White House. So meet us there.
Okay.
We're the gods get together. We'll meet in the what do they call that little area by the White House? That big pool.
I don't know, the front of it?
We're gonna meet like right.
I've not been to the White House, so I don't know.
I don't think I have either. I think I drove through DC.
Yeah, I haven't.
Pretty shitty place to live.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of people I'm sure there's a lot to do in DC.
How big like is
It's huge.
it?
I don't know, like, comparing it to
Like does
cities, I'm not
DC
sure.
like have its own like suburbs? I'd imagine it does.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, well, I don't know why I wouldn't, you know? And, I mean, it is like a part of Virginia,
Yeah.
like, they block out a whole part of Virginia that is just DC, so yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming it's big, but it's not like Miami or New York or LA or Chicago, Seattle. Sure, it's probably in the top
Like Rhode
10.
Island is bigger than. Am I correct on that?
Uh, like size
Yeah. Like
wise.
the size of the entire
Um,
state of Rhode Island.
I don't know how big Rhode Island is, but
I know Rhode Island. I mean Rhode Island's.
yeah, I guess I'm trying to think of like how long it takes to drive through Rhode Island. I don't know. It's a good question. Like, how big is Rhode Island compared to like other bigger cities?
Right.
Like LA is probably bigger than Rhode Island.
All of LA. Gotta be.
Yeah.
Like is Manhattan bigger? Rhode Island?
I mean, Manhattan's huge.
Yeah. It's not that big.
I don't know. I mean, Manhattan's really big. I d-
1 hour. That's pretty long.
yeah, I guess,
Yeah.
but
Like 1 hour, and I imagine that's like out traffic. Start to
I guess so for me, okay, I'll give you
with
like
a
a
north
bit
and
of kind of
south lane.
so that's the top. That's like going through the whole thing. It's 48 miles. So that's a little less
East to
than an
west or something.
hour. Okay. Honestly, I think some of these bigger cities are bigger than Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Because like so if you think 48. Okay, so from me to Charlotte, I'm sure you know Charlotte. So from me to Charlotte, depending on how fast you drive, is like hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's like two Rhode Islands distance, give or take.
Trying to see how long it.
Okay. I think Manhattan's bigger than you think. Is it
I've been
that
across
big? I'm not
Manhattan.
sure.
Look at 5 minutes. The
That
island
doesn't
is
sound
only
right.
roughly 2 miles.
So they're not including like all of Long Island and all of that.
Yeah.
Just like the
I guess
city of
you
Manhattan.
wouldn't. Yeah. Just
Yeah. So you'd have to look at like big cities, you know.
with traffic, I'd imagine it's 6 hours.
Hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, unless you find the back roads or know how to maneuver it easier.
Not that minute.
Yeah, I mean, there's taxis, so I
You were
mean,
like a super.
it's a great idea. Why can't it be out of a different orifice though? Why does it have to be my wrist?
come out of.
My nose? Yeah. That way I have my hands and legs to
I
do
mean, you'd be
things.
setting yourself up to be called Snot Man.
Yeah, but I
Could
could
have both.
do a lot
That's super.
with my hands
Sure, sure, yeah.
and my feet as
Mortal
I'm
Kombat.
swinging. Yeah.
Other Spider-Man. Because
I'm
a
doing a
lot of
lot with my
our
hands, yeah.
majority iterations of Spider-Man, where he like not coming out of the wrist. It's not that weird fucking Tobey Maguire thing.
Yeah, I mean his does come out of his wrist or whatever, but it's
Yeah,
like he produces it.
right. Majority are like
He makes
made a
it.
gadget.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Tobey Maguire's the only one that does that?
I'm
Like out of
sure that
wrist?
there's a comic that
Because
it's
it is
like,
really weird when he
yeah,
try to
there
say
has to be another comic that is like he produces it himself or something.
now, that can't be healthy.
Why?
Well, think how much
His
web you would
entire
have to have built up in your body.
but his entire DNA is changed.
Sure.
He
I
is
just feel like
he is part
where's the
spider.
web coming? Gotta be stored somewhere.
Must drink a lot of water, to keep it producing.
Spider-Man's
It is very weird.
Isn't it weird that Spider-Man became like the most popular? I
Yeah,
could
it comes
understand why
from
Superman.
the small town roots of Spider-Man, I think is why. He's like it's the friendly neighborhood part, I think. That he's relatable. That he's just a kid, you know? Like anyone can do that. I think that's why. With Superman, it's like, well, dude's like jumping over a building. It's like that's not realistic. Not that Spider-Man is like super realistic. You're also forgetting that Tobey Maguire in one of the scenes, the sticky part of his hands, like he has needles. It's like he
Right.
can't touch anyone.
That's a very good point. Can he turn
Like
that like
Mary
on and
Jane
off?
is scratched up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sir. That'd be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, like if he can do this to a building and climb it, like what is he doing to your skin?
Brick wall at that.
A brick wall at that. Like your skin's
Sticking in there.
tore up. Yeah,
And disgusting.
he cannot pleasure a lady with his hand. Don't give me that look. Don't give me that look.
I don't know. Weird.
Bleeding? Scrapes?
Judge MJ. Color red. Uh,
All right.
Daniel, it's been another busy week.
Not as busy as last week, but
No, certainly not. In a few weeks. But we did get some. We got a Nintendo Direct. Finally, not a traditional
mhm.
Direct Mini, but a Direct dedicated and focused on Donkey Kong Bananza coming out on
That sounds about right.
18th.
Yeah, it's like a month away.
Yeah, something like that. Coming out fairly soon here. We got a 15. Right around that.
Mhm.
Daniel, how'd you enjoy the Donkey Kong?
I thought it was for being like a game specific direct and not like super long. I thought it was pretty great. Like they got a lot done in the 15 minutes spent on this. They went over a lot. They showed a lot of his abilities, and I honestly really feel like they didn't spoil anything, but like the one thing they kind of spoiled very early, and I don't think it's a big spoiler. We could talk about it later. Other than that, it's like they really just talked about his movement, like how you're maneuvering the world, kind of set up the villains and loose story stuff. They didn't go into detail about a ton of the worlds you're going into, so that'll be kind of a surprise still for the most part. Um, I think they did a pretty good job of not spoiling a lot in this, but showing you enough to get you more excited. Because I've been saying like I need a little bit more oomph to the game. Not that one trailer was exciting, but like I want to know more of what I'm doing in the game, and I think they nailed that here.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was kind of crazy how like it just kind of kept going, and you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do that, and this, and move like this, and it was just like that for a constant 15 minutes, and like that 15 minutes just flew by, like it was over, and I was like, oh, that was it. It was like shit, I thought I was like halfway through the video.
For me, I think I was like halfway through it, and I was like, "Wow, they've already shown a lot."
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, "This
like
has only
we're
been
just
like 5 or 6 minutes."
rolling here, huh?
Yeah.
It's like put a bunch of. Well, yeah, yeah, I'm really into it. We're here a different type of platformer, and I think even I was like,
Mm.
it seems very creative to do, and like how exactly you're
How
gonna
you tackle them?
solve these
Yeah.
obstacles and stuff like that. Like, I wonder how much you're gonna be able to mix and match certain, like especially when they were showing the transformations, going from like
Mm.
fucking Super Saiyan gorilla to bird to the fucking running zebra. Well, I wonder if like eventually you get to a point where you're like mix and matching those and you're getting through obstacles that way or something like that.
Mm. Well, it did show you were able to change it. Like, it is just a meter, so, like,
Yeah, I know it
they,
runs
like,
out, so it's like
ran and
yeah,
then you changed the name they, like, changed to the bird for a little bit longer.
yeah,
So it looks like you can bounce between them already
yeah.
for just that period of time.
Very cool, right? And it's like I
Yeah.
love all the little things that you can just do as based on like the rock surf. That's fucking awesome.
That's very that's very Link with a shield.
Yeah, yeah, no, exactly. You could see a lot of different Nintendo IPs mixed in, right? And like the when he threw the rock and then that's how he double jumps as well on it. That's a
Yeah.
really cool idea, you know. It's it I think we were all kind of thinking like how are they going to make this like different from
Mhm.
the game that we got recently? Like what makes Donkey Kong out in a 3D very different.
Yeah, it seems very it's all about the breakability of the world and the destruction of the world, but also kind of combat. He's definitely like throwing more things, and you're seems like it's that other than like Mario, where it's like Mario can do combat with like power ups, but he's definitely a lot more about the jumping and the platforming. Seems like Donkey Kong is like they're giving him a lot of tools, but then it seems a little bit more. Maybe it's just my perspective on it. Seems like they definitely have a lot of combat stuff in it.
Yeah, I'll be curious how they handle like boss fights with that type of stuff. I could already imagine like there was that part where he jumped on the enemy and he picked up a rock off the enemy and kind of like chipping away at it at that. You could totally imagine a boss fight where you're jumping on top of the boss, picking off something off of the boss, jumping off back at him,
Yeah, he's like
getting
stunned, then you
through.
grab a piece of him,
Right. It's like
you
that's like
throw it
I guarantee you that'll be like one of the first boss mechanics. Uh,
for sure.
and with the whole digging thing, like I wonder how deep that actually. They said you can destroy most things, and I'm wondering like
Hmm.
just how deep it. Is it gonna
Yeah,
be
well,
like entire sections, like just below, right where you're standing at the level? Let's say
hmm.
big areas.
It's a very good point, but it seems like this is still going to be kind of like level based.
Yeah,
Seems like you're going closer to the core or whatever. So like you could probably only dig to like whatever bedrock it is, or like
right. You'd imagine.
there's probably a thing you
Like
can't
you can
dig
already
through.
just imagine the amount of like secrets that you know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tons of. I think that definitely stands out too. It's just like the exploration. I can't wait to explore the entire area.
Hmm. Yeah, it's going to be really cool to just how much you can break and then kind of get on it to a high place and just look at everything that just destroyed that you just did,
Right.
and
Yeah.
like completely terraformed this new this area. It's really funny.
Seems like they're setting up a lot of different types of challenges as well. One some seem kind of like a bit more puzzly. The
Yeah.
side scrolling section challenges, a whole bunch of different I'm curious to see
Yeah.
those.
It's very Odyssey where you're gonna have like 2D
For
sections
sure.
or things like that. Yeah. So what are the things that they're not showing right now?
Right. Yeah. Like, are you gonna watch it panic or whatever? I think
Yeah, or
that stuff
speed
interests me.
run
How do you feel
challenges.
about like a little bit of a story going? I
Yeah.
crazy.
What
I wasn't
yeah.
that at all.
I especially wasn't expecting it because they kind of did a little bait and switch with Odd Rock actually just being Pauline,
Yeah.
um, which is really funny. It's kind of like a Joel Last of Us 2 type switcheroo in the trailers, even more so. Like they had whole playable. They showed you a playable section uh, for that when they showed it, and they showed Odd Rock on your back and stuff. So it's like Nintendo went out of their way to hide that. And yeah, to have like a young, I guess is this like a younger Pauline? I don't
Yeah, I
because
read
like
something that
in my
Nintendo
head,
officially said this is Harley
okay, because like in my head, yeah, like how old is she in Odyssey when she's like when you like see her and she's singing?
a full blown. I don't know.
She's an
It's
adult, yeah.
I've seen people arguing about the timeline already. Like talking
Oh
about
boy,
it's like guys, Nintendo doesn't give a fuck. Well,
they don't care about
they don't think
the
you think
Zelda
they're thinking
timeline.
about a timeline?
They don't care about the Zelda timeline. This has even less of
But
a
this isn't
timeline.
lore accurate. Like guys.
So it's a prequel to the first Donkey Kong game, is what they're
Right.
saying.
Yeah, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense because Cranky is that Donkey Kong.
Right. Yeah, that's a big Nintendo
But
doesn't care, so you
I love the idea of having like Pauline with you and kind of being the I guess the in a loose way the main character, right? Um you're kind of helping her out. Kind of gives me like Wreck It Ralph vibes a little bit. Kind of like big guy smash things, little girl with him. Um yeah, I'm fine with it. Like Nintendo's not going to have a big story in this, but they might have a little bit more than they normally would.
Yeah, I'm down for some cute little you know.
Yeah,
Give me some
exactly.
fun enemies, some fun villains. It looks like they got some fun villains going fun little dialogue with
Yeah,
Pauline
the main villain's
talking.
crazy looking.
Donkey Kong just like blowing snot bubbles in the background or whatever he's doing. He's a carry, he just wants a banana. It's like, all right, cool, great. Pauline's like sitting here tragically lost in this weird ground world. Like doesn't recognize anyone, and she's around human. Donkey Kong just sitting there, jump on my back, kid. Fuck it. So,
I'm getting a
all right, we're finding fucking banana. Pauline's it's sitting here struggling to get back home, crying and probably doesn't even realize there's a kid on his I mean, I don't know about you. Pragmata came to mind immediately. Oh god, we're
Mm.
getting into a phase with kids on your back now.
Oh, it's a
More
new dad simulator,
yeah, new dad simulator. PlayStation, get on it. Hurry up. Let's go. Let's put Atreus on Kratos' back in the next. Uh,
Yeah,
I heard
yeah, Nintendo needed to get in with the dad simulator.
they did. They did.
Like, everyone else has been doing it, so
The
they got one.
obvious King Kong, right?
Oh, for sure.
I wonder if the game ends at New Donk City,
Mm.
Empire State.
And then she like that's her new home or something.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, kind of funny. He was saying, what if it ends in like Mario's coming after Pauline at level in Odyssey? Got to fight off Mario.
Or like the OG Donkey Kong. Yeah. That they're not gonna do that, but that's a cool idea.
Deal.
Yeah. They're definitely not gonna put Mario in this game, but
Yeah, I mean they did in that little fucking paint simulator. Oh yeah, paint. Nintendo Paint's
oh
back
yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever
we didn't talk about that. Yeah.
going on there. I like that they
It's like
just
a
added.
formation,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
claymation
Hey
type
kids, you want
thing.
sculpt?
It's super cool. It's a callback to Mario 64,
Yeah,
but
but wasn't there Mario Paint back in the day?
then there was also Mario Paint, so it's kind of yeah. Um,
Seemed
yeah,
like
it's a
just a
cool
way
idea.
to use the mouse controls.
Sure, and like, I mean, how many kids is this going to be like? Their first like platformer, stuff like that. This being a new console and that kind of thing, new generation of kids. Yeah, so why not?
Yeah,
I
man.
remember when Mario 64, and it's a little different, but you're just sitting there playing with Mario's face. How iconic was that
Man, when you
back
like
in the day?
pushing his
Yeah, and you like pulling his head around. It's like, man, that was so cool back in the day. Like
yeah,
menus weren't you couldn't play with more like things in the menu. That was crazy.
yeah.
So
It is a cute little.
yeah,
I wonder if they'll have
cute
more
cute
things
little
like
thing for
that.
kids.
I like the customization options too. Like they got a
Hmm.
lot of those going on. Collect some gold throughout the world, go out buy different clothing.
Very
Like that.
Odyssey like
Yeah, yeah. You
with
could
the
like
purple coins.
fully change the color of Donkey Kong and shit like that. I like that. That's really. And they're very good with customization.
They usually are, yeah.
Mario Kart World.
Yeah, I
So
definitely need to get my Switch too,
I'm excited to carry over. Yeah, man, I'm just very excited for this. Awesome. Love 3D platformers.
for sure.
Yeah, excited to see
Nintendo's the
this
best.
back. I mean, like it's the Odyssey team.
I was seeing rumors that it wasn't.
Yeah, there's a rumor that it's a splinter of the Odyssey
Yeah.
team now that like splintered off. But I mean, technically, that's still them. Then
Yeah, from the thing that I saw
I
that
would hope
this
that's
was
the case, and then we get a 3D Mario next year. Like that would be ideal, right? If we could get both this and the 3D Mario back to back,
or at least in the next 2
awesome.
years, yeah.
Right, something like that. That'd be
Um,
great.
yeah, I guess the rumor was that this was like a lot of the younger devs on the team were Donkey Kong fans, and they wanted to go and make a Donkey Kong game, but Nintendo probably wanted that team to continue doing 3D Mario. Um,
Especially with how
and
many years it's been Odyssey. Okay, I would hope you guys are ready to go to get
yeah,
back or something like that. Been
it's like are
8
they
years
really
already.
gonna go another 5 years and not have a 3D Mario game?
Right, exactly. Like, are we
I
gonna
don't know
have
about
to?
that.
That's too long, especially for the Switch too. It's like we wait another 5 years. Like, if they haven't started on a 3D and like this team is the Odyssey team Mario after this, that's like almost end of the life cycle of Switch
Yeah,
by that point. That's way too.
no.
I would hope that is the.
Yeah, like what's the biggest gap for a 3D Mario?
We're already in it.
Are we in the
Yeah,
longest right
we are
now?
currently in it.
What was the previous longest before? Was
Uh,
it from 64 to Sunshine? No.
no,
That would have
it
been
was
like 4 or 5 years.
yeah, it was probably
Galaxy was like
well,
4 or
I
5
guess with
years.
3D World, right? So yeah, that
Was it Galaxy 2 to Odyssey?
but 3D World
Does
count
that
that?
count?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
depends if
when
you
was
count
3D
that or
World?
not. 3D World would have been 2014.
Hmm.
That was only 2
And then
years.
what was Galaxy 2? Was that 2011?
That was
Even 2011 is like if you just count that, it's like 2011 to 2017.
yeah,
I mean, it's 6 years, that's not too bad.
yeah, no, but we are currently 8 right
Yeah,
now. Long. I really hope there's a 3D Mario.
that would be sick. That'd be so
Fucking
sick.
sick.
I need that
Give me
so
that and
much.
another 3D Kirby next. Ready to fucking go, Nintendo.
Oh, dude, I hope that that team is making
They
another
gotta be. They had to have
Forgotten
hot. I
Land
know how
sequel.
successful that was. I know it
Yeah.
wasn't like the highest selling Nintendo game, but I mean that's a tough bar to cross.
Yeah, but Nintendo's good at budgeting their games.
Yeah, but it
They
also
don't really
sold.
ever need to
It
sell
sold
well.
like 7 fucking million too, or whatever. So like, okay, that's an incredibly successful game.
That's insane.
Just put that
That's
team on another. That game was awesome.
insane.
Let them expand that. Let them make a better
A
one.
lot of these other publishers wish they had Forgotten Land.
100%. A lot of these other publishers they could snip anything over 5 million.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Nintendo, the Switch just produced that. Just like every game was selling like that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
fucking. I
I
mean,
mean, this
look at
game,
8 Deluxe, bro. It's the fifth highest
I
selling
know
game of all time. The fifth.
that game came out in 2014. Um, yeah, I'm curious, like how this game's gonna do. Like Donkey Kong, I think tends to sell pretty well. I don't know how Tropical Freeze has done since having like the Wii U and then the Switch port. So, but that's probably the highest selling Donkey Kong game, I would assume.
Could imagine, right? All the Switch versions,
Yeah,
latest characters games, or the latest games for the highest selling. Surprised me. Yeah, yeah, I am curious. I think it is Nintendo's most important game, honestly. Like Mario Kart, that was gonna launch, and that's Mario Kart. It's I just said the fifth highest selling time. That's gonna do great no matter what. That's gonna capture everyone. Fun for everyone's gonna buy that. Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be kind of more of a hardcore, right? I still expect that to sell pretty well,
I mean,
but
I importance, I guess, a weird word. You know,
I just think in terms of like getting sales and also being really highly critically acclaimed,
maybe for the
having
critical success.
I think
Yeah.
this and Metroid Prime 4 have the highest chance of being the Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey of the
Hmm.
Switch 2 launch. You know what I mean? Like that game that sells extremely well and is high critical success and is just like an all time classic. And that's what Nintendo wants. something that's gonna be talked about like Breath of the Odyssey. I don't think they'll
Hmm.
quite reach, but they want something like that, and I think Donkey Kong Bonanza kind of primed.
That's a good point. I mean, I think the game that like is the most important for them is probably cart, but that's just because of sales. It's not going to be the highest critical one that they have. Like
Right.
cart never really
Like I don't think
does.
Kart's nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, who knows. Yeah, I think that we're still kind of questioning what could be.
I
Like
just think Kart it's just another kart racer, right?
yeah,
And it's like, and I think with how lackluster the open world element really is, it really is just more Mario Kart. It's like the only thing that's really innovative on Mario Kart from my standpoint is
more
knockout
racers
knockout
and
times.
knockout. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, more racers, all that shit, but that's like expected. Uh,
yeah.
I just think like to be like the critical darling, the thing that we're talking about from like 10 years now, and like, oh, you guys remember the launch and we're all playing talk about Mario Kart, sure. But I think really, if this game comes out and it says talking about,
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's definitely something to like put a pin in, and we'll kind of see where we're at
yeah,
into the
end of
Switch,
the year.
into the Switch 2, or yeah, end of the year, or even like into the Switch 2 life, like next year. Like how much is this game still talked about, and that kind of stuff.
You know what's funny is them announcing that Split game on their little thing.
Hmm.
They're totally gonna announce the prime date and air writer's date and all that news, especially with no traditional
I mean, that's
direct
why
in like
they.
June-ish. It's funny to see them like actually trying to push that.
Yeah, when's their later direct? Is it September?
September. Yeah, they always doing. I would expect one probably around after getting now. Yeah,
They're definitely going to keep using that app. Like
yeah,
that's why they
yeah. Like
made
they're
it.
gonna really try to put big news. Funny, I didn't know they'd actually like go that hard with it. First announced that. All right, Daniel. Let's get into next month. Next, and Xbox is teaming up with AMD for the next generation Xbox consoles. Possibly, we will also work next generation Xbox cloud gaming. Daniel, talking about next gen already. Jesus Christ,
Hmm.
I can't deal with it. Time smooth. Here we are.
Yeah, I thought this was just an interesting story. I mean, we're 5 years, about 5 years into um this gen, which is like, I mean, we're over halfway done with the gen, and pretty much every gen. Some gens were quicker, some gens you're already into the next one by 5 years. Like that's just kind of how things moved back then. They didn't really have pros or you know revisions like that. I mean, the PS2 did have the slim model, but it wasn't like that didn't stop them from making the PS3 so quickly. Um, the 360 gen was one of the longest ones for a while there. That was like 8 or 9 years. And then I forget. So when was it? 2014 or no, 2013 to that was 7 years for the last gen. So 360 gen's still probably the longest gen.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, 8 years or so. Um, so it makes sense that they're going to at least start talking about that kind of stuff. Like tech is we're in a different era for tech, and we kind of have been for a few years now. So um, yeah, it's interesting they're going to partner with AMD. It makes a lot of sense, especially with having that ROG Ally as being their handheld and stuff. That just means a lot more um, interconnectivity through the Xbox like ecosystem. You know,
yeah, yeah. I'm curious to see what Xbox cooks up here. Very interesting. Probably gonna be their last console, I'd imagine. Who knows what will be by the end of next generation console? Might be the last generations of. See, we'll see how that's gonna end up. Curious when they'll launch it. I would like them to get off beat with PlayStation. Don't come out in the same year as that one.
so
PlayStation's
when was the
28. I would
rumor?
I would I would prefer them for that. I remember rumors of 26 for Xbox
Yeah, I
next
thought
year
that's what I
already.
was gonna say. Was it
Yeah.
26, right?
Yeah, that seems unlikely now. I
A little
don't know,
too
just where
aggressive
we're
right now,
at.
probably.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just where we're at, like, at the moment, it doesn't like that's happening, but maybe it could come out in
27, I think could make sense. Having the
yeah.
new handheld come out this year, rely on that for a whole year or so, and then,
I'm sure
you know,
they'd like it next year, well, 25th, and get a lot of
well,
hype, a lot of
it's a
celebration.
good point.
That one, Halo game.
They can call it a new gen, but it's still just kind of being a pro because they don't have a pro,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no,
It
they
can be
don't.
just kind of more iterative,
Yeah.
like they could still probably launch it. That is a little aggressive, but hey, like if they're just going to keep doing iterations of their new consoles and handhelds and stuff like that, and it'd be just slightly better every version, like an iPhone. I mean, you get an iPhone every year, so why not like do an Xbox every year or something? I mean, that I doubt they're going to do that, but uh, I assume this console will be pretty much like that handheld. If I were to guess, you probably have Steam on it. If I were to guess.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what they actually work out there. Very interesting
Hmm.
how that would fascinating.
Yeah, you would assume there has to be some sort of cut for Xbox in that way, but
Yeah.
how that's possible, I'm not sure. Like, is there a way to tell if somebody's buying it on the Ally
Oh,
and they
certainly,
get
because you would have to go on Steam store. You would have to
yeah?
be logged in to buy something.
So is Valve okay with like expanding their audience that way
Sure.
and then like giving a percentage to Xbox as well? Because if they're cool with that, then it's like, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen, even if it's just like a few percent
There's
for every
so many
sale.
legal. Damn, how would that? Either one of them want to give a cut of they're making off. I don't know.
Hmm.
Very curious.
Yeah, are
Uh,
you curious about getting the handheld at all, or is it
nah,
just too
I mean,
expensive?
especially with the price that I'm
Yeah,
hearing, everyone's saying like minimum $800.
800.
Like,
Yeah.
no fucking way, bro.
What
I
if they?
pay
What if they?
800 for.
What if they did? I think they have already done this with like the Series X, like more of a payment plan type thing. Same price, but you pay like 40 a month or something.
Hell,
Is that
you're still paying 800, however many. And
yeah?
just
Unless that's your sole platform, then
right.
maybe you could
Yeah, if it's your
justify
sole
that.
platform, right. Yeah, that's a good point. Like if I was solely playing games on PlayStation, I probably would have bought a Portal by now, that.
Sure.
But I'm not. Like anytime I want the rare times I want to play something handheld, I have a Switch.
Right.
Kind of just I can do it.
Hmm.
I have a couple
Maybe
hours
buy a small indie
where I'm
there,
not going to be in front of
or
my TV, but I have game time. Not like
yeah.
that moment. Yeah, it's hard enough to convince me to buy like a Portal dedicated device.
A full device, yeah.
I mean, it's very cool that you're gonna be able to download that ROG Ally hand.
Mhm.
That's awesome, but $800 awesome for me? No, that is not. That is not the case. But
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know, man.
pricey.
I understand it for like if you're traveling a lot, then I completely understand. I'm not in that position
Mhm.
that long.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you too. I don't really play a lot of handheld generally. I'm more when I do play a game, it's usually just on my TV. But um, I like the ability to have like the Switch be both. Like, I think that's really nice. And I know that the this system will be able to be both too. So,
Yeah,
like, I'm curious, like maybe that's just kind of what Xbox does next for the next gen is like a very powerful handheld that is just a hybrid.
as
They take
opposed to
that switch.
gaming.
They take yeah. It comes with the dock, and you plug it in, and that's just kind of what your Xbox is.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
You
especially
know.
if streaming games takes off like, to the point where we can stream games and not that much difference with that and downloading it
especially in the states.
natively. Like, if that does happen, if that comes to I mean, really, handhelds are gonna be where the hardware is sold. That would be the only no one's gonna be buying consoles.
Mhm.
Why would they? I doubt there'd be any on the market at that point. Play it off your smart, not notice the difference. But really, it's like they would have to trend Xbox, PlayStation, and they would all. I mean, fair, but they would all have to trend hand hardware.
Yeah, yeah. Very interesting future we have.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
what's
And I know there's
PlayStation
arguments
doing
that
in
like
this?
that future will never happen because like there's no
Yeah.
possible way to games and have them run as well uh
I mean,
downloaded.
we're going
But
to
I don't
be
know if we
there,
get
but
there. No,
yeah, I think we're going to be
how
there. It's just
long, right?
when.
Yeah, how
Yeah,
long
it's
is the
really
question.
when, especially here in the states. Like, I think if you're not from the states, I think it's kind of hard to kind of picture the United States. Like, we are a large nation. We might not have the biggest population, but land mass, like the states are massive, and it's like having good internet everywhere in the states is tough, especially in like the middle of the country.
Yeah,
So and there are a lot of people that live there. Maybe that's not where the most of the people live. Most people generally live on the coast, but um, having insanely good internet everywhere right now is not realistic for the states. But I mean, we're gonna get there at some point.
yeah. Which is another reason why it might not be smart for Xbox to do have because then you're sending
Mhm.
more and more libraries. If that future does
But
come to fruition where streaming only, they would still sell it through their store. Like I'd imagine there'd be a PlayStation app, an Xbox app, a Nintendo app on your already built to buy games through that. And
mhm.
if you're sending people to Steam now, they're building up that library for years. We'll eventually get there where we're all games. Well, now they have a massive library on. Why would they go to Xbox?
The my only um like defense for them would be that they are the biggest third party now, and you still are gonna buy Xbox games on Steam, so, like, that's where they make the most of their
Oh,
money,
no doubt. I
you
mean,
know?
they're in the best position possible
Yeah,
because of how many studios
that's
they
the
own
only
and how
way,
many
but
games they have.
I definitely know what you mean. It's like, why would you buy it on the Xbox app or the PlayStation app? I can see why people would still probably do a Nintendo app because it's not like 3D Mario's coming to Steam,
Right. It's
like
like
it did
this
the 3D
would
Mario.
Nintendo still be like, oh, you could still
Y
only buy the
Yeah,
Mario games on the Nintendo
Nintendo would
app.
literally have to it's either they do that or they're done.
Oh yeah, well,
That is the only way.
no, I mean
That
they
is the
just
only
become a
way it would
publisher though, right?
but that's what
It
I'm
would just
saying.
seem so ridiculous at that point because
Well,
it's like to have
that's what I'm saying
exclusives to
is
your own store page because it's like I guess it already happens though with like Netflix, right? You
yeah,
know,
exactly.
yeah, and Hulu and all that. So
So Nintendo
but even
and
them, like you see Netflix shows now pop up on other platforms or HBO shows pop up on Netflix
it's
versus
HBO has been doing it with that deal with
yeah.
Netflix or whatever. But Nintendo they will hold out
It just seems
and
so crazy
unless
when
they
it's like,
were
okay, I could just
business
go
was
over,
on the line.
you know, with
Yeah,
my
yeah,
remote and fucking buy it somewhere. It would just be insane at that point. It's funny,
yeah.
it's like they better get going. I know they already have these pages, but it's like I would make those store pages like now and make them look. It almost reminds me of like Blockbuster. Like Blockbuster could have been Netflix made an app at the time, you know,
Mhm.
carried over your profile and all that shit, your Blockbuster points or whatever the fuck to the app at that point. Like they could have
Yeah,
done
they needed someone forward thinking to like
to do that at that
they
time.
were they were pre-streaming. It's like we could be using not like Amazon Video. Blockbuster could be a
Right,
streaming service.
right. They could be
It's
a
just they were
competitor
not
to Netflix at that time.
exactly.
They wanted
They
to.
just were not that forward thinking. They probably looked at when Netflix did it and they were like, "What a joke.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?"
And it's like,
You know?
you guys better nail that down and make sure people know to go to your store page to buy games before like the TV companies get in there. You know? What if LG just
Mhm.
opens a store page and you can buy all your games through there? You know,
Yeah.
people are really gonna bother to click in and download the Xbox app, download the PlayStation app, and then buy it through there. Like, are they really
It's a
fuck at
good
that point? You know?
yeah, I mean, on Samsung TVs, like what I have, like you can just play Xbox stuff there. Like there's like an
Yeah.
app and stuff. So I don't know. It's gonna be a very messy, and we're gonna have to kind of figure out how everything lands at some point. A lot of
Yeah.
these companies are probably gonna have to start working together, and I don't think they're gonna like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, think about that too. Party's gonna it'll get messy
We
at that point.
I mean, we had, like, we talk about, like, how a lot of those Japanese publishers fused, like, so many of them fused, Koei and Tecmo, Square and Enix, Bandai and Namco, like pretty much every single one of them were 2 companies at one point, and it fused. I wonder how much more we're gonna see of that in the future. Like, I know EA's not in trouble, but is there some future that EA and Take-Two have to fuse?
Yeah,
Or
or someone
I
buys
know
them out, you
Ubisoft
know?
I know Ubisoft, yeah, I mean, they're struggling, but it's like, are we
I
gonna
mean,
see
really,
more
what's
of
gonna end
that?
up happening is it's gonna get more intense.
Exactly.
It's gonna buy like fucking EA, fucking
Yeah.
Amazon's gonna buy someone else. But
10 cents buying more.
yeah, and it'll just become like the same 5 companies that own everything.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, dude. Probably next.
That'd be
Uh,
interesting if we saw their E3 conference next year, or their,
yeah,
like,
I
summer
wouldn't be
showcase
shocked,
next
right?
year.
Especially if it does
Yeah.
2027. I wouldn't be surprised
At
at
least a
all if we
tease or something.
saw like a glimpse of it. Yeah.
They did it at the Game Awards. You think it'd be that early?
Oh, this year's Game
They
Awards?
did X Series X at the Game Awards,
Yeah,
remember?
be interesting. I could see it maybe the next Game Awards, all 2027.
Maybe. Yeah,
I don't know if you that early.
good point.
All right, our last news. Bungie's marriage definitely comes a few months after alpha for the a lot of people and recent artworks.
Hmm.
Oh, Daniel, here it is. I think we were all expecting it.
Yeah, especially them kinda going quiet there for a little bit after that kinda art stuff. They had that, like, stream, and then they were kinda talking, and they kinda went over the art stuff, and they've kind of been quiet since then. Yeah, it makes sense. I think it's a busy year. I know next year's gonna be probably busier, but it's still a busy year this year, and I doubt they wanna, like, have a half-baked game out there, especially if they're replacing some assets and stuff, so I think the delay makes sense. I just don't know how far you delay it, um, especially if they don't really believe in it, and I don't know if they do. Um, like, I want it to be good, especially for Bungie's sake. Bungie holds a special place in my heart, Like, I am a Halo guy, like, that's like the one of the few games that kinda got me into gaming, is Halo, so Bungie definitely means a lot to me. Marathon, again, I'm not really into extraction shooters, but Marathon would be the one I'd wanna check out because of Bungie, and I think I'm probably not the only one that feels that way. Like, Bungie is kind of best in class for FPS, so, yeah, I don't really know what to think. Um, Definitely just delay it out of the year, maybe come out early in the year next year, but, like, where and when? PlayStation tends to like a March release date, so maybe put out in March, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to win. Pure GTA right now.
You need to get it out before. That's what you need to get it out. Not in February because you don't want Resident Evil. You, I know that this is Resident Evil is going to sell well, but like how well, who knows? But you don't want it on top of that. And like April is probably going to have some big thing. Usually it does. So March usually does too. So I mean, you're going to want it out as early as you can next year. If you can push January, maybe put it in January. But like, how much is a 5 month delay or whatever, 4 month delay?
Yeah, they're in such a weird position. Just seems like this doesn't seem like anyone wants.
Yeah.
It doesn't anyone want action shoot. Doesn't really seem like that's a genre that kick off here.
I mean, Tarkov's really been the only one.
Yeah, I know they're big, but it's still like they're not like battle royale big.
No, and it's like Tarkov is like there's no one else that is doing that to
Yeah,
their
I know
level
there's
at
that or
all.
Grader's game later.
We'll have to see what that is. Yeah.
Game like had more content already. I don't know, man. Obviously, I'm up to like whole year.
I was
September.
gonna ask is like, yeah, because GTA is still, at least from what we know, is like still in that first half of the year. I mean, GTA hype's gonna be the rest of that whole year once it releases, but like, will they be okay to release in like September, October next year?
I think that'd
You
be the
know?
best time. Get as much content as you can in as possible because it seemed like that was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Not a lot there. Not a
Hmm.
lot going on. Yeah, do that and like I don't know if you can add this thing if that's possible. Seems like
Do like a
people don't.
PVE mode
Yeah,
or
can you do that? Like,
oh, you want like them to do like an arena style,
I mean, I'd like,
like a Halo
yeah,
PvP?
like I'd like
Yeah.
a fucking playlist. I know kids these days seem to only like one game and they're it's
They just want a battle royale.
yeah, they
Yeah.
just want to fucking play the one thing.
So yeah, I want to bounce
Back in
between
my day, I remember
Slayer.
having fucking 8 different playlists. Like
Yeah.
20 apps, whatever.
I mean, Call of Duty still does that, to be
That's
fair
true.
to them.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's a mess.
It is a mess for sure. And
I
it's
don't
and
know. Bungie,
the crazy thing is it's
Bungie's
not even just a mess for Bungie. The mess for PlayStation.
oh, yeah, for sure. They're a mess. They bought into this fucking
It behind
it's
this mess.
insane. I
Yeah,
don't know.
what universe would we
I
be
guess
living
I'm
in?
sort of thankful because it sounded like Bungie would have been dead without
That's
getting
what I was
bought
gonna
out.
say. Is
So
like,
it's like
what universe would we have been if they
they
didn't get
didn't.
bought? I mean, they probably would have been bought by someone else. I would have assumed, but it's like
Yeah,
who,
yeah. Who?
and that's scary. Even think about Tencent
Yeah,
because
probably.
they were already working with
Probably would have
Tencent,
been at that point. I haven't from there.
and I definitely don't want that.
I'll just drop this fucking Destiny 3. Like that's what
I
people.
think that's what most people want at this point, or a new IP.
I mean, dude, I'm placed.
Yeah, I mean, but even like even that series too. Like we've talked about that series is like it's. I'm a huge fan of that series, especially I like the first Destiny more than the second one, but like that series was up and down the whole time too.
Oh, for
And
sure.
like
I mean, none of those, especially review wise, like they don't review well.
the first, or I'm sorry, the second one reviewed pretty positively right at launch. It was like it didn't have a lot of post game content, but like it had a pretty straightforward, cool story, main story, and then it just to the post game, and then they kind of had to fix it from there. The first two expansions for Destiny 2 were not great. So, like Destiny 2 just kind of it started really strong, which is not how the first game was. The first game was like people were very excited it was something new, but it had a really weird main story, and then they kind of had to fix it with like expansions, you know. So it kind of had to build up from there, and they kind of had some rockiness in there, you know. But D2 was just, you know, a little bit more of a mess, up and down, you know.
Yeah,
But I want D3 really badly. Like that's what I would like, and
yeah.
I would
It
like
just seems like
them to kind
Marathon
of
is destined
figure it out.
to come out and then dropped immediately by everyone. Like it still might be fun, but it seems like it has that thing make it have a lasting impact, which is I don't know.
Yeah,
I
because
don't know how
it's
you
going to be a
fix that.
mess
I'm also just not
narratively
that guy,
too.
right? Not get me any multi. I don't
Yeah,
really know.
because if you're not playing, or would you even play D3 if it came out?
I would play through. I would do what I did with 1 and 2. I
Like
played
the story mode?
the 8 hour story
Yeah,
mode. Never played it.
never the expansions. Yeah, see, that makes sense. Um, yeah, I don't know. Bungie's in a very weird way. I mean, they have that Splinter team now that's making another live service game. So that Project Gummy Bear. Um, yeah, I kind of just want them to get back to grassroots Bungie, and I think the only way that we're really going to get that is for PlayStation to kind of put their foot down and get rid of all of the executives there that are kind of forcing the hand of kind of that dev team. But, you know,
There's
PlayStation
clearly still talent
PlayStation
there, right? Like,
and that's
especially
all
with
the
how good
devs.
Final
It's
Shape seemed to be. Like
yes.
okay, at least they're still there. Like, they can still make a
Yeah.
reaction,
Yeah, and it's all of those executives,
right?
right? It's like you know, it kind of sucks because like at some point it's like PlayStation, you bought into this because of their expertise, and it's like they still have it, but the leadership at Bungie is kind of soiling the thing that you bought, you know. So I feel like PlayStation at some point needs to fix it themselves. This is yours, right? It's their studio,
Yeah, I
as
mean,
big as they
certainly at
are.
some point, that whole Bungie's kind of separate. I
I
don't.
think has to go away. Maybe they'd still keep the whole like putting it everywhere type
Oh, especially
promise.
with the type of game.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
I mean, that's even tied to the.
yeah. And then what sucks is like there is still some long existing Bungie employees that were there like it's from the Halo days. It's like you really don't want to get rid of that expertise or marathon fails and then they leave. Like that's like worst case scenario.
I
Because
mean,
then
from what
at
I
that
remember,
point,
they paid for.
exactly, they paid to keep as many as they could, right? And then they already have had layoffs and like a few higher ups in the creative part leave, but they still have a lot there. And like, I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm rambling, and that's probably just from my passion of that studio, you know. Um, yeah, I think as much as I don't want PlayStation to put a heavy foot down, I kind of think that they need to do something
For sure.
more drastic to fix them.
Well, yeah, I think you're probably right. I could see it fully.
Maybe they have something else for that time frame. Maybe that's where that God of War. I didn't really put that in here, but because it's like it's not really even a story very much. That rumored God of War game
Yeah,
that like isn't announced but got internally delayed or whatever. Like maybe that's like an early March game you could
I don't even
put
know how
out.
much there's. that- That's like a 2D. I can't imagine there's
Put it out in January, maybe.
out as
I mean,
a.
for God of War is a big thing for them.
No, no, certainly, but I don't know if a
It being
2D
a Metroidvania.
God of
Yeah.
War.
Yeah, what's the high selling Metroidvania? Hollow Knight?
Yeah, I mean, are big, but
Yeah, how much is Hollow Knight? Has Hollow Knight, if you were to guess without looking it up, has Hollow Knight sold more than 10 million copies? I probably would say no. It's
I don't
probably
know.
like an 8 or
That's
something.
that's like the popular.
Yeah, and that's on every platform. Yeah.
I don't know
You would hope their
if that thing's even
expectations aren't that
real.
high
It certainly sounds real at
because we
this
want
point because
yeah.
how many people are
Grub keeps talking about it.
collaborating. Colin was even.
Is this on the newest episode?
Yeah, something like that.
Hmm, interesting.
I don't know. Seems like that is.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Game Awards. But you'd hope that they'd have realistic expectations for a Metroidvania, unlike Ubisoft.
Well, it's not. It's not even Santa Monica.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that this would have been
No, it
Santa
sounds like
Monica.
Santa.
Hmm, guiding them. When are we getting that Corey game? Where's Corey Barlog
No.
making? What is he doing? He's not doing nothing. We're talking about lazy developers, you know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah, I guess he like probably oversaw like story beats, but like he wasn't there day to day, you know.
Yeah, who knows? All right, Daniel. That'll do it. Playing Daniel.
Not a ton. Trying to kind of figure out what to play. Um, I did beat Indiana Jones. Did I talk about that last week, or I don't
Not beating
remember.
it.
I didn't beat it
Talking
last
about it,
week.
yeah.
Okay, I think I beat it like the day after. I think I beat it like last, like right after the show last week. I wasn't like super far. I don't think. Um, yeah, it's what a fun game, and it definitely like reinforced my love for Indiana Jones and just the vibe of like going and solving these puzzles, these ancient histories, and like they definitely hit tropes that I'm like, we don't need to hit the same trope. I think three different times in this game of like Indy grabbing something, everything's shaking, and then he has to run away. They definitely did that too many times. But like that is Indiana Jones, you know? Like what are you gonna do, really? But uh yeah, I remember last year you kind of talking about the game and talking about Voss. I know you liked Voss a lot. Um yeah, I wanted more of Voss, if I'm gonna be honest. I felt like I felt like you kind of go through periods where you're just not seeing him as much. Um, but yeah, when anytime he was on the screen, he definitely like commanded um the scene, you know, like he I don't know who did that voice or who that actor was, but he did a great job. Do you know who that was at all?
No,
Is
I
that
don't
like
know.
is it a big time voice actor or
Uh,
anything?
Iggy's
Okay. Okay. Yeah, he whoever that was did a great job. Gina as kind of the femme fatale of the uh I guess not really a movie, but of this Indiana Jones adventure. I think she was great. She's definitely not my favorite. Like Marion is always going to be my favorite. Obviously Indy kind of gets with Marion at the end of or towards the end of Indy's adventures and stuff. But Gina was a great character as well. Um, Definitely not as big of a cast. I guess there's not always a big cast in a lot of these indie adventures. Usually just kind of has his buddies, but I was expecting to see more of like the people from the movies. You get Marcus in the
for
beginning. You don't
short
really
round.
ever. I didn't
Bring him
expect
back.
short
Yeah, yeah,
round, but I was expecting Sala because he mentioned Sala one time.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
You're in like a crypty thing, and he like sees something, and if maybe it's only if you take the picture, but like you take a picture, and then he's like, oh, Sala would have loved to see this, and I'm like, man, bring Sala here. I want to see Sala.
Yeah, you could have
Um,
brought him.
or even Marion. Like they don't. There's a big
Like a
like
love interest.
yeah. Well, he ends up getting with Marion,
Oh, okay.
has the kid and
That a lot.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. And then like I don't know if she's in um the newest one. Uh I didn't see the newest one. I should watch the new one. But yeah, they hint at Marion because they talk about like they kind of split before the events of this in between the first movie and then the events of this and that he kind of keeps going back to that talking about that about
Oh, she's
he
brought
doesn't
up
really
more
talk about
than
her.
anyone.
Yeah, and he talks about more, I guess, a lot, about himself and how he needs to improve himself. But they didn't even like show Marion again.
Yeah.
They don't go back and show Marcus again. I was kind of surprised. Once Indy's kind of going, just you and Gina really, and kind of the supporting roles.
Yeah, they could use
Um,
them.
yeah, interesting choice to kind of leave it like where they leave it. Kind of a little open ended. Like you don't really know what he's gonna do next.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're working.
Um, Yeah. I wonder what that DLC is gonna be.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's just a new area. I think it takes.
Okay, that makes sense. Learn more about the Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that they do the same thing that they kinda do at the end of most of the I haven't seen the 5th one, of course, but how they do it at all these indie movies is like a big mystical event happens, and you don't know what happens. You have no idea. Like, they don't really tell you, they don't spell it out for you, at least that I'm aware of, like, Locust just goes into a portal with the ship, and you have no idea. like spoilers. You have no idea.
The baddest
Like
set piece.
it's super cool. You have no idea, is he alive? Is he dead? Is he in the afterlife? Did he go to a different realm of existence? Who knows? And you'll probably never know.
Oh
And
yeah,
I think that's
definitely.
kind of I think that's kind of cool,
Yeah, that is
you
cool.
know. Um yeah, I love this game. I don't know if I love it as much as the two Wolfenstein games. You know, I think the first one of the Wolfenstein games is a little bit messier than the second one, but I still think I like that more than this game. But I love this game. I love machine games. I hope that they're working on Wolfenstein 3 next, personally. I mean, it's been what, 8 years since that game, or almost 7 years since that game. So I hope that that's the next game. I
It's
wouldn't be opposed to a sequel.
yeah, I think it's how it gonna depend on this.
Yeah, yeah.
However, that kind of depends. I don't
I
know.
think this game did well enough. I think if they would want one, I think Disney would be okay with making another one.
For them in particular, have
Yeah, I know it's mixed. Some people like certain things from it, but
good idea. High quality,
and you can keep Harrison's likeness,
right? Yeah.
even if him aging. You keep this in Indy's prime. Yeah,
I don't have any. Not like an Indian.
I don't think so.
Do a cool like.
Could do Indy's kid or something as like a future movie, or
Shia,
whatever. I mean, they would recast, but
me,
yeah,
Shia LaBeouf. Shia, not even an invention.
the
Yeah,
greaser. He looks like a greaser.
yeah, yeah. Shia LaBeouf, leather jacket,
Yeah,
I'm motor up chick.
sure. Yeah.
For Baker voice Shia LaBeouf. Not a actual.
Troy will do both characters.
Troy do every
Is Troy voicing me right now? Is he
whole
under the
time.
table?
Ah, agree.
Yeah. I'm just animated.
And the gorillas out on behind.
No, but I love that. It's one of my
I
favorite
think they've done that
artists.
before.
Yeah? Hmm. You have been.
Is that all you've been playing?
Yeah, pretty much.
I well, I was gonna play the altars. I keep seeing Death Stranding comparisons though, so I'm a little like, eh.
You don't want to overdo
Yeah,
yourself.
I didn't
So
want to
you're gonna
overdo
do Death
myself.
Stranding.
Yeah, because that comes
You've been
out.
so excited for the altars though.
I know, but I have a good. There's a good chunk of time right after Donkey out where there's like nothing for a while for me.
Hmm.
So I can kind
Do
of.
you have it pre-ordered already?
Yeah, I bought it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just because Death Stranding's out on next week already.
Yeah, it's coming up real quick.
Yeah, like that came up super fast, and I was like, okay, I don't really want to from there right into. It. Plus, I kind of just want
Hmm.
bought a new console, so I kind of just went.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm holding off on that, but I will get. So
Yeah, when is Death Stranding coming out?
2 day early access period, dollar edition. That's
Okay. So it comes out Thursday?
yeah, comes out. Uh, but
Hmm.
yeah, I just want to play more Mario. I mean, dude, I'm really playing the
Keep
whole
doing
time.
knockout.
Shit ton. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of the first time I played a Nintendo game like online. Yeah, works great.
How do you feel you're doing? You
On
keeping
knockout
up?
mode? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm keeping up. It's I've only won once knockout tour. It's fucking tough. I mean, hard to do. I'm coming second. Like
So does it come to the final four? Is
yeah, it
that
goes
like
to the
the
final
last
four.
round? Hmm.
In that top four. Up mode, lock in.
Yeah, this is a lock-in gamer mode right here.
Shit on though. Like It's funny
Yeah,
because
when you get to those final 4,
you
yeah.
almost don't wanna be in first
Oh,
for
for
for the
sure.
top 4 because it's like, "Oh, okay." I almost, like, slow down a little. You know, let the other
Let's pace this out, yeah.
right, because someone's getting a blue. It's like someone's geared. Yeah, I'm having a good time with that. There's a lot of interesting Mario Kart with, like, how to keep up speed and, like, just, go a little bit faster. A lot of little mechanics there, like grinding and all that, and the wall riding.
Mhm.
I kinda wish they went more in depth with the wall riding a little bit. There's only specific spots where you can kinda hard to even nail wall riding when you jump up.
How do you do it mechanically?
You gotta hold down, RB. Also the same button as the drift, which does not work well, it's like
So
if
it's
you're
the drift,
slightly
jump,
touching the
and
analog, it'll drift instead of charge jump, It's kinda hard timing
Mm.
down that.
So you're charging your jump is what you're
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah, most of the times when I get a wall ride, it's, like, set up from a grind, and you off the grind.
Okay.
Well, there's certain tracks where,
So
like,
how do you
that's
mechanically
set up.
grind?
You just
You just
ride right
jump.
into it. Yeah, you can jump.
Oh, so you don't even jump?
You don't jump very high. Like, if you miss the spot where the rail has, like, a little bit of a slope in the beginning, if you miss
Mhm.
that spot, you're not just jumping and then jumping right.
Oh, okay. So you have to
You don't
be
jump that high.
going into it as it's coming
You
up.
can kinda do it when, like, the slope's slightly still going up and then jump, kinda get it sometimes,
Okay.
but yeah, it's really hard to get just, like, hard jump and then jump right,
Mhm.
kinda have to get it. And a lot of times they'll like I said, they'll set that up to and all that gives you charge, and that's how you kinda keep going top of the
Mhm.
there's little things here and there help you go faster. It's no Crash Team Racing.
Mhm.
Crash Team Racing has I mean, Crash Team Racing, if you're not drifting and charging the entire fucking time, you're losing. It's that
That's
is that
crazy.
game. Yeah, that game is, that's what it's such a deep kart race. I
I mean,
mean,
Mario Kart, you pretty much need to be drifting most of the time.
yeah, this one not really. Like, there's drifting almost slows you down in certain areas. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, yeah, like, there's certain points where I'll be drifting, kinda charging it up a little. Guy that was just after this, but,
Do you
yeah,
think
no.
it's your cart?
Well, Crash Team Racing has, like, it's almost like Gears of War with the active reload, but there's, like, 3 different stages on the drift, and you click those at the right time, and it makes you even get, like, a total of 3
Hmm.
charges. Crash Team Racing
Okay.
again and again and again, boosting and charging the entire time. And so it's a little bit different. But yeah, I'm having a great time with it, man. That knockout tournament, so fun. It's
I'm
just
so excited to play this game.
that's a great time. I'm trying to unlock. I know you can unlock mirror mode by doing a bunch of different things, which I know is like I'm trying
Mhm.
to do all that, and I think you got to beat all. I should actually just. I heard on something. It was probably kind of funny. I think you got to beat all the grand and 100.
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I think
That sounds right.
you gotta do that, and then you gotta find some things in the uh
They have 200 still?
no, 200's not. I think
What?
I know
200
it's
is the crazy
disappointing,
one.
right? Yeah, 200's. I almost wish you unlocked that before.
I mean, 150 is the classic, that's what you always play, but 200 is
Right.
like if you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah,
We're
for real.
playing 200.
I'd imagine they'll add it,
Yeah.
something at some point. I have. But yeah, you gotta like do that, and then some things in the that you gotta unlock, and I think you gotta even do knockout tour and player, something
Hmm.
like that. So I want to do all. Having a good time. I checked out some other things on Pokemon Scarlet.
Okay.
Yeah, I
How
was
did that run?
dude, it runs great now. It's at 60. It looks so much better. It's
Yeah.
just not choppy anymore than me. Yeah, Tears of the King. At, oh no, I have online. I just downloaded
Oh, right.
it for that.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Our play.
Hey, one of the greatest games of all time.
Right,
Come
dude.
on.
And like, yeah, look great. Um,
Did you
yeah,
have your save?
yeah. all that
Nice.
carried over. I just it was real easy to
Hmm.
Wi-Fi or
Good.
whatever. I don't like how Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been having a good time with it.
Yeah, I can't wait to get one. I'm like definitely in the lookout now
Yeah, it
for
seems
for
like,
one.
dude, credit to Nintendo because it does seem like if you want one, you can get one. Like at
I have not
terrible
found
shop.
anything
Really? Okay, I've
right
seen a
now.
couple times. Oh, they're up on Best just from
See, I'm not looking at Wario.
yeah,
I'm kind of just like when I go, I'm like looking around.
yeah. I don't
Everybody
know if you
like,
could like find one in stores yet or whatever. Like I don't know if it's
oh no, I mean
solely
just looking
Target.
online.
Oh,
I was
okay,
like go around online and look. I have not found one myself yet, but
okay. Yeah, but it does seem a little bit easier to ask on.
you think so?
Yeah, yeah, because I've seen multiple. You hear that story of the people stealing on from the
Oh
truck?
my god. Yeah, insane.
The fast
Hey, hit me up. I'll
videos
take one.
when they're stealing those.
And now they're saving the world
Yeah, having a good time with it. Probably just
next
next
week.
week.
Are you getting the early access thing? Is that of course you
Who you
always
talking to? I don't know.
$20 I
I'll
could
put a total of 90 minutes in it before it actually releases on the Thursday. But whatever.
you're crazy. You're so
This
crazy.
one's not that bad because it was only 80. But
Compared to 70?
yeah, compared to $10 more.
Hmm.
Not bad, but
You get more what else do you get?
I who
You just want that
I
early
don't.
access. That's all you
I don't
want.
a gold skeleton or some shit. I don't fucking know. Who cares?
Kojima will pour you a
So,
cup of
you
coffee.
know, I'll tell you what you get. Some shit I'll never download.
Yep.
Uh, maybe you get like a special Red Bull can or something.
So he can make his P bombs.
Can't wait to watch Norm Hour. They're making an animated movie too with that shit.
Yeah. We don't need, I don't think, this much
We
Death
don't need
Stranding,
two
especially there
Death
already being
Stranding
a
movies.
movie. Yeah.
Tell me we. How dare you?
No.
Of course we.
Where's the battle royale? You just walking around
Yeah,
while the circle's going in.
Grand Game Takeover. Are we gonna get Norman Reedus' character in Fortnite? Really, he's already in
Hmm.
Fortnite. Daryl must be.
Oh yeah, Daryl's probably in there, I would assume. What about his Boondock Saint character? What about the Boondock Saints? Can they
As
be
Fortnite got to
in
that
Fortnite?
vaccine.
Yeah. Do the kids like Boondock Saints?
Not they're gonna.
They better.
Where's the Shawshank season?
Oh, just plays Morgan Freeman.
Oh, shit. Dude,
Fortnite's
good.
stupid.
Bro, shit.
Every other season's a Star Wars season or a Marvel season.
They look the Death Star thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have that.
It's Fortnite though.
Let me blow up the Death Star and Pain concert.
Do the kids like T-Pain? The kids know who T-Pain is.
He relevant now?
I don't know. I feel like he hasn't really been relevant in like 12 years, at least. I mean, people have their run. That's you can't expect people to go forever.
Getting Fortnite TV.
I mean, he fell in love with a
YouTube
stripper.
TV.
What do you expect? Mhm.
All right, Dan. That will do it. That's podcast. Subscribe to us. .com. You know, Huntsville platform.
I'm actually. This is a full announcement. I have a Fortnite skin, so
Ew.
yeah,
And
you can go buy me right now.
play as Troy Baker.
Exactly. Yeah, I am voiced by Troy Baker.
Troy Baker be
Well, yeah, my voice is only now Troy's voice, so he will be following behind me.
throws you like a
He's
Muppet
behind me right now.
hand up your
Of course. I mean, the only way to do it. No.
glass of water.
Mhm.
See you next week, people.
Bye, everybody.